What's good, y'all? Welcome to another edition of Confessions of a Black Scientist. Now, when we left off last time, I told you I just got into a master's program at Georgia State University in Atlanta, Georgia. So, what we're going to talk about today is what are you willing to sacrifice to make it to your ultimate goal? Now, sacrifices come in many different forms. So, for example, when I moved down to Atlanta, I found a apartment online that I was able to afford on the master's degree stipend. So the master's degree stipend was absolutely nothing. I mean, when I say nothing, I mean nothing. Like, I think we got 400 and something a month, and we was it wasn't even 10,000 a year. So we wasn't getting anything. But we were still, if I wanted a thesis master's, I still was expected to do research and do full-time classes. But I'm getting ahead of myself. So when I moved from Indiana to Atlanta, first off, the first thing that really hit me was the weather, because that humidity is deafening. Like, it choked me when I first got out of my car. It was crazy. But when I did get down there, I had a really crappy apartment, which really sucked that I had to stay in for a year. Now, when I say crappy, I mean roach infested, ants infested. I was supposed to have a dishwasher, but there was just a hole where the dishwasher was supposed to be. I lived in South Atlanta, right next to, or basically in College Park, and when I got down there, I was dead broke. I spent every last dime I had pursuing my dream. Now, what did I sacrifice? I sacrificed my money. I sacrificed my financials, because I didn't have any money. I was broke. So what I had to do then, I had to get a job. So when I got down there, I ended up getting 3 different security jobs. Now, I worked these security jobs as I was going to school full time. You know, I had to take full classes. I had to TA as well, because that was a part of the master's degree stipend. And I had to do full-time research if I wanted to make that transition from master's to PhD. Now, you might think, wow, when did you have time to sleep? Well, I didn't. I barely had time to sleep. I didn't really have anything to eat because I didn't have the money to do so. But those are the kind of sacrifices that I made to pursue my dream, and my ultimate dream was to get my PhD. Now, when I got down there, I got into a lab that was willing to take me at the time, and it really interested me. It was doing therapeutic drugs, or it was more medicinal organic chemistry. Now, I'm more of a biochemist myself, but I was like, okay, well, I can do this medicinal organic chemistry, make the drug, and then apply it, right? So everything was good, but I wasn't really happy. Now, when you get into a lab, now everything isn't going to be perfect. I'll tell you this now. Not everything, like the situation isn't going to be perfect. The people that you work with, or the PI of the lab, is not going to be perfect. But again, what are you willing to sacrifice? So at that point, I wasn't really willing to sacrifice being looked at as a non-equal. The project really wasn't working. I made some suggestions to the guy who I was working with and to the PI, but they didn't want to hear it. They was like, well, it worked once, it should work again. So since it only worked once, it should have, it's going to work again. But it wasn't the case. Something needed to be tweaked. But as scientists, you're supposed to be problem solvers. So that's what you're supposed to do. But they didn't allow me to be a problem solver. So this was my problem. I wasn't looked at as an equal, but I was looked at as someone below them. So I went, after a year of being in that lab, I went to the PI and I told him, hey, look, I found a different lab to go into. I'm going to go into this other lab to pursue my PhD. Thank you for the opportunity, but I got to do what's best for me. Now, this particular PI didn't hear that. You know what he heard? He replied to me saying that, oh, well, you got enough research experience in my lab to where you can go get your non-thesis master's and, get a good job. And I'm just like, did you not hear anything that I told you? So from that statement, I could see that he never looked at me as an equal, because I sent him my resume. I sent him the research that I've done as an undergraduate. So I had research experience already in organic chemistry, but he didn't realize that. He didn't care. He was like, oh, my lab is the end all be all. If you can't make it in my lab, you're not going to make it anywhere. So that was pretty crazy. So I wasn't willing to sacrifice my happiness and being seen as an equal. And that's what you got to look for when getting into a graduate lab, because you're going to be there for a while. Remember that. Now that was my first year. Then a lot more happened, but we gotta move on. So, but now transitioning into my second year, when I switched into this different lab. Okay, now this different lab was with a brand new professor, and things were good, but honestly they got a lot worse as that year went on. So make sure you guys stay tuned to hear the second part, or the next part of my journey to become a black scientist. Peace. Hey guys, if you like these videos, make sure you like, you share it, you subscribe it, tell your friends, tell your girlfriend, tell your mama, tell your baby's mama. You know what, just tell everybody, alright? Gang gang.